All right, we went 4-1 on our 5 premium sports picks on Pt.1 yesterday. That's going to improve our record to 3-0 in our last 3 board member tier package picks on that website. Now, the link for today's board member tier package pick is in the description section below. $1,000 bettors are up over $2,700 during that span. Now, if you're not signed up for that, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll explain a little bit more about it in just a moment. But before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to the video. My name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal bets on BrockPage.com. And I have packages on that website starting at just $1.99. Now, the purpose of these YouTube videos is to provide free informational sports betting content, and is also designed to generate interest in signing up for a membership on my website. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my webpage. Well, what I'll do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate, or close to it, of games in any given sport, side and total. And then what I do on my website is I actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into our part 1 video. We're going to break down a couple of games here, and then we're going to launch a part 2 video in a couple of hours. And that's going to have a lot more games. That's going to have the rest of the slate. But we're going to cover some of the earlier games here. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start with Florida State taking on Boston College. And that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern start time on Monday, February 21st, 2022. Now, Florida State's -1 on the road with a total at 136.5. But despite being favored on the road here, the Noles have lost 7 out of their last 8 ball games, and they're dealing with a handful of injuries. Evans and Mills are both questionable to play here tonight. Polite and McLeod are both still out. Now, the Noles have been pretty bad on the road this season. They're winning only 30% of their road games this year. They're also allowing over 73 points per contest on the road. Now, the Noles are also having a tough time guarding the field goal when they travel. They're taking on a Boston College team who plays some mighty good defense at home. They're actually allowing only 64 points a game in front of their home fans. And they've also got themselves a winning record at the Forum. Now, scoring-wise, Mekhi Ashton Langford is averaging over a dozen points a game, along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Meanwhile, DeMar Langford is scoring over 11 points a game himself, along with 4 rebounds and a couple assists. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, 8 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings got over the posted number. Boston College also saw overs recently against the likes of Notre Dame, Virginia, and Wake Forest. Meanwhile, Florida State, on the other side of things, they went 3-0 to the over in their last 3 themselves, 60% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward Boston College +1 and the over 136.5. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Georgia Tech versus Syracuse, not on our big screen behind us, but that is going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Syracuse, they got the W in 5 out of their last 6 ball games. They went 5-1 against the spread during that stretch as well. And speaking of covering the number, Syracuse is covering 62% of their ball games at the Carrier Dome. Buddy Boeheim, he's scoring nearly 20 points a game, along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Meanwhile, Joseph Girard is making 44% of his 3-pointers. He's also averaging over 13.5 points a game. And speaking of 3-pointers, the Orange ranks in the top 5 in the country in home offensive 3-point percentage. They're taking on a Georgia Tech team who lost 5 out of their last 7. And they also have themselves a losing record on the road. Now, they're also allowing way too many points when they travel. The Yellow Jackets are actually giving up 74 points a game away from their home court. And they're also having a pretty tough time guarding the field goal in that very same category. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, 5 out of Georgia Tech's last 8 got over the line. They're also 70% to the over in their last 10 against Syracuse. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, the Orange saw 8 out of their last 13 at home get over the posted total themselves. I'm going to lean towards Syracuse -9 in the over 145.5. Next contest, it is going to be Indiana versus Ohio State. And that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Ohio State's -7 with the total at 135.5. Now, the Buckeyes have been really tough to beat at home this season. They're 11-1 straight up at the Value City Arena. And they're also in the top 10 in the country in defensive boards at home. Matter of fact, the Buckeyes are currently in the top 10 in home defensive rebounding. And they're also limiting their competition to just 39% shooting from the field there. E.J. Liddell, he's scoring over 19.5 points per contest, along with 7 rebounds and a couple assists. Now, the forward's also drilling nearly 41% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Malachi Branham is making 46% of his three-pointers. He's also scoring 11 points a game. And speaking of shooting the basketball, the Buckeyes currently find themselves in the top 20 in the country in offensive field goal percentage at home. Now they're taking on an Indiana team who lost 6 of 8 on the road this season. And they also find themselves in the middle of a 4-game losing streak. Now the Hoosiers have also had issues scoring with the basketball. They're actually averaging only 69 points a game when traveling this year. And they're also making only 30% of their three-pointers in that same category. Now, injury-wise, Finney's still out. Lander is questionable. Meanwhile, on the other side of things for the Buckeyes, Sewing is still out indefinitely for them. Johnson is currently listed as questionable. Now, total-wise, Ohio State's 4-0 to the under in their last 4 straight. 60% to the under in their last 10 meetings with Indiana. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, the Hoosiers saw unders recently with Northwestern, Illinois, and Maryland. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Ohio State -7 and the under 135.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for part 1. It is going to be Louisville versus UNC. And that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern start time. The North Carolina Tar Heels are -9.5 with a total at 146. Now, the Tar Heels got the W in 7 out of their last 9 ball games. And they're currently 13-2 straight up on their home court. Now, UNC's also been very good with the basketball in their hands. They're scoring 78 points a game, and they make nearly 41% of their three-pointers in Chapel Hill. Caleb Love is making 41% of his three-pointers. He's also scoring 15 points a game. Meanwhile, Armando Bacot is averaging over 16 points per contest himself, along with a dozen rebounds. They're taking on a Louisville team who lost 7 out of their last 8, and they're winning only 22% of their road games. Now, the Cardinals have had significant problems scoring away from home this season. They're averaging only 64 points a game on the road. And in addition to that, they're also shooting just 29% from three-land in that same category. Now, when it comes to head-to-head meetings in this one, Louisville lost 7 out of their last 10 contests against UNC. And they also covered the point spread in only 30% of those meetings. Now, total-wise, Louisville saw their last 3 straight fall under the line. They also went 70% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, UNC, on the other side of things, they saw 6 out of their last 10 meetings with Louisville fall under the posted number themselves. I'm going to lean toward UNC -9.5 and the under 146. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Pt.1. If you guys do end up getting a package here today on my website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single pick that I give out on that website, you're going to want to sign up for my board member tier package. Now, guys, not only do board members get access to the board member tier pick itself, board members get access to every single package that I offer on that website. It's an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, Got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at Brockpage.com.